Hello everybody, Watch This Review here with a look at the Mantis variant from the Wave 13. Now when I was picking up this wave, the Chemo wave, I did have one minor regret, and that was not also picking up the variant version of Mantis. I believe I only saw the normal one in stores at the time. And, it's just bothered me somewhat, so this week Target had a sale, so I ended up picking this one up. Practically the only thing they had in stock too. Very good price though, it was $7.50, but I think it's like a 1 week deal. Hopefully they're not just clearancing out their merchandise for some reason, but hold on 2 seconds, I'll get them open. Like the standard version, the variant comes with the left arm of Chemo. Now, in case you're wondering why Mantis's variant is a robot, that's actually an interesting question. Apparently, to the best of my knowledge, they redesigned several characters, including Mantis, for the original DC Superpowers line back in the 80s. And in that version, Mantis was a robot, so in faithfulness to the really old series, they decided to do a robotic variant of the character in addition to a proper comic version. And frankly, the robot version just is so cool. I mean, look at this. It's just such a kooky design. And I won't even hazard a guess to what the thought process was behind make Mantis a robot, but the end result is, it's really too much. Yeah, as you can see, there are little rivets throughout the construct. There's a lot of detail, and this is really a completely unique sculpt just because all these parts are just so radically different from the normal versions. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you get a ton of leg movement just because the hips come up a little bit high, but I guess if you move it around a bit you might get that, but it's not going to really work kicking forward. I mean, for this sort of crazy style, I guess it's the kind of sacrifice that you do have to make. I mean, it kind of looks like a really bootleg Transformer, or maybe a GoBot or something. It looks so eerily familiar, but I can't place like what sort of series you would have felt at home in. But again, I mean, wow. Crazy. Now, supposedly this guy has a hard time standing due to the top heaviness, and I can kind of see that, but at the same time, look, he's standing. So, I won't give those complaints too much thought, although, I can see where the complaint would originate from. Just move this here, and then I still don't know a ton about the character other than his association with the planet Apocalypse and stuff, but there's so many things about this figure that are really cool. That's weird. He's kind of got like a fake foot pivot or something here. I don't know if it's just a really loose joint or what. See that? I don't know, it's a very weird touch. I imagine if that and several other joints do loosen, he probably will be a pain to stand up, but in the meantime, everything is going pretty okay. But the arms you really have to mess around with just because the shoulder joint is recessed into this one area here, and it doesn't really like to move that well on either side. It's definitely not as loose as other figures. I don't know if there's an actual portion that's being impeded or what, unless it's actually happening from within the figure, but definitely a very cool sort of fringe character, and a kind of cool representation of the odd stuff from the original line. In terms of articulation though, we have rotation here at the forearm. It's kind of concealed because it's got this little bracelet thing here. Again, just look at all the weird amount of detail. Single joint here at the elbow, rotation here at the bicep, kind of standard shoulder joint, but for some reason it just doesn't go as easily as other ones. And it's probably just because they tried to fit into this really weird thing, and I'm just worried that the bicep will detach at some point. Head only rotates, does not go up or down. Well, yeah, it doesn't really go up or down. This wing thing does not seem detachable. We have an ab/diaphragm joint here, but kind of impeded due to the heavy sculpt. Legs kind of kick forward, kind of kick out. It looks like the piece down here is actually just like tacked on, so it's got a kind of standard groin area, but then they attach this so you do get a little bit of extra give as the plate pops up a bit, but I'd worry about breaking that plate, so I wouldn't mess around with that a whole lot. Rotation here at the thigh. Single joint knee. And then at the ankle we have the usual up-down in addition to a small amount of pivot. Again, really wild design, probably not for everybody, but you know, he definitely adds some color to the DC Universe Classics line. And speaking of the standard version, here it is. Now, out of the two, I'm going to say that the standard version, you know, is probably something that looks more natural if you're a collection, but at the same time, I mean, it's really tough to pass up on the more robotic look for the character. Although I probably would never display them in the same place, but you'll notice that this figure is a little bit taller just because the torso or chest area comes up a little bit further. And you know, he's going to look taller just because he's got this little shoulder pads or whatever. So yeah, not sure what I'm going to do with him yet, but whatever I do with him probably will be fun. Maybe. I don't know yet. So yeah, hopefully they will get other stuff in while this stuff's still on sale, and I'll be able to pick that up. But this has been a look at the variant Mantis. The normal Mantis does have a review up. Until next time, folks.